Everybody, it's JBR3 Collector here, back with another tier ranking video. And this time I'm doing a Batman villain tier ranking in honor of the Batman movie coming out today, this weekend. It's March 4th, 2022. I'm not the biggest DC fan in the world, and I'm mostly trying to stick to Marvel because I know Marvel. DC is more of a passing fandom for me. So I may not know every character in these pictures. Plus, these pictures are really small. So even ones I do know, I might not recognize because of how small some of these pictures are. But please do tell me in the comments like who they are, or if I'm wrong about who they are. I want to learn. I want to do better. So, anyways, I will start this video off. Number one here is Killer Moth. And I know Killer Moth. I think he's a really dumb design. It's a really fun dumb design. He's like an anti-Batman almost. C, I guess. I don't know. I think he's a fun looking character. And man, let me tell you, as an action figure collector, I really, really, really want to collect DC figures. I just don't think there's ever been a toy line for DC that's actually been good enough for me to hop onto. Anyways, next up is Harley Quinn. Popularity alone, I'm sure people put her in S. She's kind of come into her own, the Suicide Squad stuff now. So I think she's become less of a Batman villain and more just a DC hero almost. Not quite hero, but you know what I mean. I'll put her A. This guy, I wish I could tell you who this is. I can't tell who this is. So I'm sorry. This guy's going to F. Please tell me who that guy is in the comments. This looks like Talia al Ghul to me. I'll put her in A. And this person with the fire all around them, I really can't tell who they are. So sadly, I'm going to then an F. I'm sure they're a cool character. Can I zoom in? Is that Firefly? Oh, that's Firefly. Oh, that's Calendar Man next to him, right? It's Calendar Man there? Might be totally lying. Sorry, again, not a huge DC fan, so it's hard for me. So Firefly, I'll put him in C. If this is Calendar Man, I'll put him in D. Man-Bat, one of my favorite Batman villains. I just pre-ordered the new Man-Bat figure. I'll put him in A. Let's move Killer Moth into B. This is Blockbuster. I know them. Don't know them super well though, so I'll probably put them in D. And this like Black Mask. Put Black Mask in B. Again, I don't know a whole lot about these characters, so I can't really comment a whole lot. I'm just trying to go by what I know. I know Black Mask mostly from the Arkham Origins video game, to be honest with you. Otherwise, I wouldn't know that character. This is one that I didn't recognize before I even chose the list. I looked at the character selection before this, and I couldn't tell who that was even. So if you don't know who this guy is, oops. Tell me who that guy is there. It's ugly. That's all I know. Next up is the Penguin. Oh, is that the Mad Hatter? This is a really hard tier list for me. It's like the Mad Hatter. Mad Hatter I'll put in C. Basically, if I was to collect DC action figures, for example, basically from C and up would be the Batman villains that I would purchase. If I collected DC figures, if good DC figures existed. Humpty Dumpty, I know nothing about this character, but I know he exists. So I'll put him in D. I know who he was when I looked at him, so Oh, I put Calendar Man down here on accident. Oops. If that's Calendar Man. If that's not Calendar Man, I'm sorry for lying to you guys. I'm sorry. This is the Penguin, and Penguin is definitely an S tier Batman villain. Everyone knows who the Penguin is. He's played by Colin Farrell in the new Batman movie, so I think he's definitely an important one to be ranked fairly high. These are Tweedledee and Tweedledum. I'm assuming they're like I'm assuming Batman has some kind of Alice in Wonderland themed villains along with the Mad Hatter. They probably work with the Mad Hatter. Probably. I don't know. This is probably not my best video, to be honest. I just want to put something out in relation to DC for Batman this weekend. So I thought it'd be fun. I want to watch that movie. This person, I cannot tell who they are. Let me zoom in once again. I still can't tell who they are. Person in a suit. So I'm sorry, person in a suit. I know this next guy in a suit, that's one of the Falcones. Like Carmine Falcone, I believe. So I'll put him in C. Hush. Everyone loves Hush, that storyline. I think he was only famous in that one storyline though, but put him in B. Then we have Ratcatcher, who I actually had never heard of until the Suicide Squad movie with Ratcatcher 2, his daughter. But after looking into that character, I actually like that character quite a bit. But I'll put them in C. And please do yell at me in the comments or putting characters in the wrong place, because I want to know. And again, please do teach me about these characters in the comments below. DC has never been my strong point. I like Batman, but I don't know a whole ton about his rogues gallery. I was actually working on a tier ranking video for a different superheroes rogues gallery, and Poison Ivy, clearly an S tier. Everyone knows Poison Ivy. Awesome Batman villain. I love that character. But yeah, I was working on a different person's supervillain tier ranking video that I was making myself. And then I realized that Batman came out this weekend, so I wanted to put content out for Batman. And so here we are. It's probably not the best video. It's probably going to be the worst video on my channel, but you know what? I don't care. This is one I couldn't figure out even when the pictures were big. So put them in F tier. If you know who this person is here, let me know. They have like a flower on their face. So this is the Black Spider, who I think is a cool looking character. Reminds me a lot of Black Tarantula from Spider-Man. Put them in D though, because I don't think they do a whole lot. I know this guy, KGB Beast, or KG Beast. Probably B tier, right? This looks like Flashpoint Batman, which I don't know why Flashpoint Batman would be considered a villain. This is someone else. I thought you people would consider Flashpoint Batman a hero, but I like that character design. I like that story. As a villain, I don't think he should belong on this at all. But as a character, I mean, I'll put him in an A. But as a villain, I wouldn't put it. I'd probably, he's an F villain. He's not a villain, right? Or am I wrong? Please tell me. I think this is Blight. Right? Is this Blight? I don't know. I know Blight from Batman Beyond. I'll put them in C. That looks like Clayface. If it's not Clayface, I am sorry. But A. This guy I know I've seen before, but I could not tell you who he was. I'm putting him in D just because I can't tell you who they are. Picture's really small, and then I know I've seen it before. I just can't think of the name. So please tell me who that is, and yell at me for putting him in the wrong spot, because I really couldn't remember. Then there's Bane, and man, Bane is like my favorite Batman villain, but I think he really only has one big storyline where he's like a big deal. So sadly, I don't think he can go on S tier. If it was my biased opinion, I'd put him in S tier because I just think he's a really cool character. He's a Hispanic, comic book character, and he broke the bat. Even though I didn't like that movie he was in, either movie that Bane was in, I love him as a character. I think he has a really badass design, and as much as I'd love to put him in S tier, I'm gonna put him in A, just because, like, even though he's really cool and really badass, he hasn't really done a whole lot of it outside of Nightfall, which makes me sad. I mean, I know he's done more than just Nightfall, but I think that's like his one big story. I don't think he's had another big story since then. Killer Croc is another one, my second favorite, my second favorite DC villain after Bane. And the same thing with him. I don't think he's ever had any big, huge stories with Batman, but he's always been like a constant, So put him in A along with Bane. Really do wish they could do more with him too. This next one, could not tell who this was. That must be Talia al Ghul, actually. I see Batman and Ra's al Ghul in the background. So, that means this lady is going down and that's going up. Because Talia, I put that lady so high because I thought she was Talia. If that's not Talia, then whoever this is, let me know who that is. And Talia al Ghul is going to A tier. Next up is this lady. Or man, I think it's Joker's daughter or something. Really, I'm really showing my ignorance here with the DC villains, DC characters, but I recognize them, but I don't think they're very cool looking. I think that's a story where Joker cut his face off, right, and like wore his face as a mask, or this person wore Joker's face as a mask. I don't know, not my forte and not my thing, but yeah. Next up is the White Rabbit. Again, White Rabbit was on the other villains list I was doing for a Marvel character, not the same exact White Rabbit, but yeah, I'll put her in C about the Mad Hatter and cool looking character. I mean, you can't go wrong with Alice in Wonderland villains. Alice in Wonderland themed villains. So yeah, I'll put her there. I think the only story I remember reading with her recently was she in All-Star Batman and Robin, I think, or is it Batman like Year One or something? I can't remember. Really, I've read some DC comics, but I haven't read a whole lot. So when characters appear, it's hard for me to remember where I saw them at. But anyways, I like that character. Next up here is I can't tell who that is. He has a Rubik's Cube in his hand, it looks like, but I don't know who he is, so F. Catman. I love Catman. I'll put him in B. I think he's cool looking, cool design. Just Batman, but cat instead. This video is a lot shorter than my previous ranking videos because I don't know anything about these characters. Really showing my ignorance here. Maybe I shouldn't make this video. It's too late. It's too late. I gotta zoom in again. Who is... I see Catwoman on top there, but I don't know who that is on the bottom. Really cool design on that character, though. Kind of like a zebra, almost. Whoever that is, please tell me who that is. They look really cool. I'm going to put them in D just because they're cool looking. Call me shallow or not, but yeah. Catwoman is definitely S tier. I mean, come on, it's Catwoman. Like her and Batman like make love all the time, and they have that on again, off again relationship type thing, and Catwoman's a staple Batman character. Like, she's been in like every Batman franchise. She was also just in the new Batman in the new Batman movie, which I haven't seen yet, by the way. Um, but yeah, so S tier for Catwoman for sure. This also looks like Clayface. I know there's multiple Clayfaces in DC, so maybe they're both Clayface. Maybe they're not both Clayface. Anyways, I'll put Clayface, but even more Clayface looking Clayface in A, and then the other Clayface is just gonna stay at A too, I guess. I have nowhere else to put them because I have no clue if there's a difference between them, or if they're both even Clayface. Yeah. Next up is another character I can't recognize from here. And even going down here, I still can't tell who they are, so they're going to F. Tell me who that is. Next up is Copperhead. I love me some snake-themed villains. I'll put him in C, though, because I don't think he's a big deal. And I feel like he'd work more in the Marvel Universe than the DC Universe, because there's so many snake-themed villains in the Marvel Universe. He'd fit right in the Serpent Society. But as is, I mean, he's a pretty good Batman villain. I remember him from the Justice League cartoon when I was a kid, appearing in a couple episodes. So, Copperhead. Crazy Quilt. Such a bad villain. I know he's a dumb, cheesy villain, so D. Fun, but dumb. S tier again for Two-Face. Definitely an awesome Batman villain, essential Batman villain. I think he's appeared in so many different Batman multimedia things, and yeah, I don't know what else to say about Two-Face other than he's really cool, and I would love to have an action figure of him. The Riddler is also going to go to S tier. He's the villain of the new Batman movie, and even though he looks stupid in the movie to me, I haven't seen it, so but the costume just looks dumb to me. But another essential Batman villain. Batman Who Laughs. I think that's a stupid design and a stupid story. The whole Batman Metals thing, I don't understand the concept behind it. Yell at me. I know it's really popular. Tell me I'm an idiot. Insult me all you want. I just don't. I think the designs are dumb. And when you only know the characters by the designs, yeah, if you don't like the design, you can't really give them a good rating. So, Deadshot. B. I think Deadshot's a really cool character. Same thing I've said many times over and over. I'm just repeating myself a lot. But I know who Deadshot is. I consider him more of a Suicide Squad guy than a Batman villain. But I mean, he's a Batman villain now. I mean, of course, as well. But I know him a lot. I know he used to wear like a suit and tie with a little monocle in his eye. But his character design is pretty sweet. Yeah, so definitely B tier for Mr. Deadshot. Yeah, Scarecrow. Put Scarecrow in A. Scarecrow is so much cooler in the DC universe than he is in the Marvel universe. The Marvel universe Scarecrow is lame and weak, and but DC they did it right with Scarecrow, that fear toxin thing, and he was the villain in the first Batman movie I ever saw, Batman Begins. Or it's like first Batman movie I can remember seeing. I'm sure I saw the 89 Batman way before then. But I don't remember that very much. But yeah, Scarecrow, definitely a high-ranking Batman villain. You could even argue S tier for him, probably. I might even move Poison Ivy down to A tier because I feel like her and Scarecrow should be on the same level. I don't know. Yeah, I'll leave Ivy on the A tier and Scarecrow on A tier too. Leave S tier for the really Ultimate Batman villains. Speaking of Ultimate Batman villains, you don't get much more Ultimate Batman villain than the Joker. I think the Joker is so overrated and so played out. Every story about Batman involves the Joker. And it's kind of annoying at this point. Too many Joker villains, stories, too many Joker action figures, too many Joker video game appearances, everything. Joker's cool. I just think he's played out now. So he's still an S tier just because he's the Joker. But otherwise, if it was a personal preference thing, I'd definitely put Bane and Killer Croc above the Joker as my favorite Batman villains. My favorite Batman villains, like their Joker has that great, rivalry with Batman, but it's just personal preference. I just don't, I just think Joker's played out and overused at this point. This Pencilhead guy, I recognize him. I can't tell you who he is, and I'm sure he's really dumb. Even though I recognize him, he's probably really dumb, so he's gonna be F. Here's another one I don't know. And zooming in, I still don't know. Guy with a pink motorcycle. F, I'm sorry. Another guy I don't really know. So I'll put him in F. Sorry. Tell me who these guys are. I don't know. He looks like Black Mask almost, but I know he's not Black Mask. Black Mask is up above. Unless there's two Black Masks? I don't know. Ra's al Ghul will be an S tier Batman villain. He fights Batman. He's not really on the same level as the Joker, though. I'm gonna put Talia as a B tier Batman villain. Ra's is an A tier Batman villain. How about that? Did I just ruin some Bat fans? Just break you guys' hearts? I'm sorry. I like Ra's al Ghul as a villain. I think he's really good. I like the whole, the Lazarus Pit, bringing back Jason Todd, and the whole Lazarus Pit idea is really cool, and the big martial arts thing, because Batman's such a good martial artist, and having people who can go hand to hand with him. Like, I think Ra's al Ghul is way better at going hand to hand with Batman than like any of the people in the S tier are, besides maybe Catwoman. I think Ra's al Ghul is definitely a better fighter than Catwoman is, but anyways, I think it's a really good character to have, who can match Batman hand to hand. Sorry, I hit the cord. Kite Man. Dumb character. I love him in the Harley Quinn TV show. If you haven't watched the Harley Quinn TV show, I think that thing is hilarious. It's such a fun show. And Kite Man's a dumb guy. He really should be an F tier character, but I love him so much in that show, he's going to go D tier. This guy, I really can't tell who he is, because he has no head. Like, his head's cut off in the picture, so he has to go F. But I would love to put him higher, probably, if he's a good character, but I can't see who he is, so he's F. Hugo Strange, you go B tier. I know he's like a crazy guy who's like I know in the video game he's like head of Arkham Asylum, I think. He probably is in the comics too. I don't know him much outside of that, but I recognize the character. I know who the character is. I just don't know much about what he does. So, put him in B because I know he's a big deal. I just don't know much other than that. Mr. Freeze could arguably be S tier. Probably an A. I just watched the Heart of Ice episode of the Batman animated series, and that's such a great episode. Everyone told me it's the best, and pretty much thought they were overreacting. But no, it's definitely a really good show. Definitely a really good episode, and Mr. Freeze is a good character. He really should get a new movie appearance. Can't let Arnold Schwarzenegger be the only Mr. Freeze in the movies ever. Come on. But yeah, A tier for Mr. Freeze. Yell at me for it, whatever. It's like Owlman and the Court of Owls. And that was a really big deal in the comics when that story happened, but I'll put him in B because he hasn't been around for super long like the rest of these characters have. So I think that's fair. This next guy, another character I don't know. Do you guys know who this is? I don't know who that is. So sadly, he'll go to F. And then there's the Reaper, who's a really badass character design. And I'm pretty sure he was from Batman Year 1, right? Or Batman Year 2. God, but I know the character design. He's really cool. Reminds me a lot of Marvel's Grim Reaper, but this is the Reaper. Another cool looking Batman villain. Probably C tier, right? The ventriloquist. I can never say that word, but yeah, D. I know him, but I don't think he's a very big deal. Professor Pig, also put in D. Not a big fan of just the horror things. I mean, he's a murderer. I mean, he is a good villain for Batman. Maybe he can go. I don't know. Whatever. I'll keep him in D just because I don't think he's as cool as the characters in C. But I mean, Batman has a good rogues gallery. The people Batman fights are good villains for Batman to fight. I mean, all psychopaths that don't really have. Most of them don't really have superpowers. Clayface does, Blight does, stuff like that. But yeah, Professor Pig, I think he fits in there as a Batman villain. Here's the Red Hood. If this is to represent every Red Hood ever, I put him in A because like Jason Todd Red Hood. But if it's just representing the Red Hood in the picture, which I believe is the Joker Red Hood, right? I'll put him in D or C. There you go. Just in case it's not just that one Red Hood, or counting all Red Hoods, I guess we'll just put him in C, just to give him on the list, like a good spot. Mr. Zaz, is that his name, or Dr. Zaz? Victor Zaz, something like that. I don't think he looks that cool, but I think he's a big deal. But I'll put him in C. They don't know anything about the character other than he's crazy, like all of Batman's villains. So, yeah. Then Polka Dot Man. I loved him in the Suicide Squad movie too, man. God, is this how it feels when Marvel movie fans try pretending like they're Marvel comic fans, and they like try to argue with me over comic book stuff, but they really don't know anything because they only watch the movies? Is that how it feels? I feel like this is how it feels, because Polka Dot Man, D for sure. And actually, sadly, these last two, I don't know. I can't tell who they are. I don't know who they are, but they look cool. This guy's beating Batman's ass in this picture, so I'm sure he's cool. I'll put him in. Please tell me who these guys are. I really don't know. I'll have both of them in D just because they both look cool, but I don't know who they are. So that's the end of my video here. That's every Batman villain that I on this tier ranking video that I did not make. This was made by New Logsta13 here on tiermaker.com. If you want to do it yourself. I'm sure people who are larger DC fans, bigger Batman fans, will know who all these guys are. I still had fun making this. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to my very unknowledgeable comments during this video. I hope you guys leave some comments below to let me know who some of these people are. I'd like to know who they are. Thank you guys for watching. Go watch the Batman movie. I'm sure I've heard good things about it. I've heard bad things about it. I'm sure I won't like it. But let me know what you thought about the Batman movie in the comments below. Try to keep it spoiler free until people have seen it. And stay tuned for another tier ranking video coming up soon. I was planning to do like a comic book one, and then an action figure one, then a comic book one, then an action figure one. But because this is one that I wasn't very knowledgeable about, I figured I'll do 2 comic ones back to back for this one, and then do an action figure one in a couple weeks. In case I didn't get my hints throughout the whole video, I'm doing a Spider-Man villains tier ranking next. I have a huge long list. It might even be a multiple part video. But stay tuned for that. Hope you guys enjoy that. It's definitely going to be a lot more knowledgeable than this video was. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Tell your friends about my videos. Preferably not this one. Maybe the other ones that I did that were a little bit better than this one. But stay tuned for more content. And thank you guys for watching. Later.